Nobody cares what you think is popular. It's not true. I do. Please watch my videos. But today, though, we are going to give the keys to somebody else because we are headed to YouTube. I mean, we're already on YouTube, but let's stop getting distracted. The point is, when you do go through WWE's YouTube channel, the most popular videos when it comes to matches are kind of mad. Here's the 10 most popular, according to the internet. Number 10, the 2018's Men's Elimination Chamber. Smashing in with 143 million views, the big draw here is a multi-person match. Just keep your eye on that for all our entries. You guys love this nonsense. Here it also means you wanted to see Roman Reigns beat Braun Strowman, The Miz, Elias, Finn Balor, John Cena, and Seth Rollins, meaning the big dog was going to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar. Of course he was. There was a period where that was the only match we were allowed to do. This is also the time where Strowman wrecks everybody because he's super over before Roman stops him, hence all the boos. Fans were already done with Reigns when management kept ignoring people. Well, they got mad. I get it. It's not nice to be ignored. It's a long old watch too at 43 minutes, but I tell you, if you are a new viewer and you only know the tribal chief, this will be an absolute treat. It's like seeing somebody totally different. And if you're stupid, you'll probably believe that it was Roman Reigns' brother. But again, I love you. Number 9, the Great Khali versus Rey Mysterio. Happening on the 12th of May 2006 SmackDown, this so far has racked up 150 million views. Well, it must be a classic then. Nope. I would guess the little or large aspect just appeals to people, and of course, don't forget that in his native India, Khali is a megastar. I'm pretty sure that guy gets mobbed in the streets. Of course, this is just Rey getting squashed, although what else was gonna happen here? The Great One wasn't gonna take a 619 or a Hurricane Rana, so we may as well just get it sorted and get to the 1, 2, 3. It's only 3 minutes, which makes it prime YouTube viewing too, when JBL of all people whacks Mysterio, allowing Khali to crush him like a bug, and it's done. So this is probably why Vince McMahon wanted to push this guy so much. He thought all of this was going to translate. And yes, he was absolutely massive. But here's a small post-spoiler for you. It did not work. Number 8, the World Title Battle Royal. 1 year on from this too, on the 20th of July 2007 SmackDown, we had to crown a new world champion. And wouldn't you know it? The Great Khali won. He was in the thumbnail. This guy is a YouTube draw. It's got over 153 million views and has quite the field of wrestlers, including Mark Henry, Kane, Batista, and Jimmy Wang Yang. Thank goodness for that. Shannon Moore was also in this, which kind of sums up the roster at the time, and the great man didn't even hold the belt for that long. 60 days after this, he dropped it to Batista at Unforgiven. Once again, though, the Great Khali was our guy. People just loved him on YouTube. And I suppose that's another reason people did want to tune into this, because it is kind of rare to have a brand new world champion on a television show. But yeah, kind of feels to me like we could have picked a better option. But good for that guy, he made the best of what he had. Number 7, the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. SummerSlam 2015, 154 million views, and there is a reason for it. The iconic laugh. It got so popular it became a meme, but after the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar had laid each other out, Brock sat up and laughed. Taker responded in kind, and because wrestling is the best, it just worked. Mark Calloway has also told a great story about this on his podcast too, because he didn't really know what was going on. When Lesnar was running through things earlier in the day, he sort of half took it in, so when it did happen, he was slightly taken aback, then decided, flub it, I'm going to join in anyway. It goes to show that instincts are important when it comes to sports entertainment, because as the dead man said, if he had understood what Brock was going on about, he may have said nope. And thank goodness he didn't. We never would have got that Frasier picture. It's worth watching the whole thing too, as the pair always had great chemistry with a typical ridiculous finish. It is so fun from the start to the end, however, and I suppose people are just using YouTube to rewatch this madness. Well, it's not like you can use the network or Peacock. That thing is a mess. Number 6, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. So good work, world. You've done well here because you have made it clear that you love big men slapping man meat. Now, we have played with the rules a little bit because it's not a one-on-one match per se, but back in June 2019 on Raw, Braun and Bobby went to the ring and they had an arm wrestling contest. 157 million people wanted to see this, and you damn right. It really is the most ridiculous thing ever because a worked limb grapple just doesn't really make any sense, but I gotta tell you, more of this, please. It's just so silly, and they're so damn jacked. I think the internet just enjoys this craziness too, because when Mark Henry and John Cena also had an arm wrestling scrap in 2008 and it got uploaded to YouTube, it also got 135 million views. So this just says to me that we need more of it on Raw. So if you are listening, Triple H, thank you, please. Also, Mr. Game, you did that bodybuilding pose down thingamajig with Scott Steiner. Maybe we should do that again too. Number 5, the 2016 Men's Survivor Series match. 158 million views is nothing to sniff at, but I have no idea why this got the traction it did. You tell me. I suppose people just really wanted to see Team SmackDown, or Shane McMahon, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt, take on Team Raw, which was Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens. Poor Shane got so wrecked in this too because he suffered a concussion after a spear and had to be taken out of the thing. And before that, Jericho has told the story how McMahon had been potatoing him. It's all going off. Otherwise, it is just your usual Survivor Series contest as WWE went all in with this Raw vs. SmackDown stuff. And it's alright, I suppose. The red brand versus blue brand stuff is always stupid, because WWE never really got into it until like a week beforehand. It is just more proof that people love watching these though, which is actually the reason the company probably kept doing them, so we're all idiots. Number 4, the 2017 Men's Royal Rumble. With 116 million views, I would presume that fans just love the idea they could watch this for free. The Royal Rumble is a pretty damn big deal. In terms of facts, it is the last pay-per-view with only one Rumble, as women would be added the next year. You also get a stare down between Goldberg and The Undertaker, which would be followed up 2 years later, and Randy Orton wins it. Good for him. Why the 2017 version is so big, I don't know, because no other entry does come close, although I do have a theory, and we've already talked about it. Big dudes. Yep. Because in the thumbnail is Braun Strowman and the Big Show throwing each other out of the ring, so let's never forget this. The dream isn't dead, and people love meat. In terms of the Rumble itself, it's actually okay, and actually after this, they would have got a lot better. So maybe we need to get that word out. Number 3, the 6-man tribute to the Troops tag match. This goes back to the 20th of December 2008, and ever since it was uploaded, it has done 166 million views. Damn, this must have come down to star power, because look at the lineup. John Cena, Batista, and Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and The Big Show. That's basically WWE's frontline from 14 years ago. There also must have been some word of mouth to this, as it's essentially a house show, so these guys are just having all of the fun. They don't care in the best possible way, they just want to have a good old entertainment time. It's also fun to watch as it is unique with the Army as the crowd, and man, do they ever go nuts. In terms of some of the noises Raw was getting at the time, it means this is an absolute treat. And also suppose there's something to the fact that fans never thought they'd be able to see anything like this. As soon as they knew they could, well, they went and did it. Number 2, Team Authority versus Team Cena. At the 2014 Survivor Series, and this one is easy, 179 people wanted to see the WWE debut of Sting. I get it. Say what you want about the Authority angle too, but it clearly had some drawing power, but it certainly sat in the background as the icon finally arrived in WWE. This wasn't uploaded until 2019 either, meaning some people must have watched it to relive the moment, and others were probably interested in ensuring this was logged in their brain. That is the right decision. If you are a fan, you need to go and see it. The stand down with Triple H 2 is just the best, even if it does go on for an odd amount of time. And here's the only piece of advice I have for you. Do not go and watch their WrestleMania match. You will just be annoyed. Number 1, John Cena and The Rock versus The Awesome Truth. 225 million views. I mean, talk about a leap. There is so much to this though, as it was The Rock's first match back since 2004, plus he was teaming with John Cena. Not only was he the man of the hour, but he and the Great One were embroiled in a rivalry. However, could they coexist? Miz and R-Truth make for fine cannon fodder too, plus in 2024 it's a nice reminder about their staying power. Until June of that year, they were the tag team champions. It really is just a vehicle to get The Rock some reps in though, which did make sense because look at the fallout. People were super duper pumped. Just as we're here too, do not forget we are talking about matches here. So in case you do need to know for your brain, in terms of YouTube itself, Randy Orton handcuffing Triple H and then assaulting Stephanie McMahon is still the real number 1. After considering that for the last few days, the less said about it, the better. Are there any other moments that you'd love to see WWE smash out on YouTube? Then make sure you let me know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and why not click that subscribe button? You can also click the video on the screen when we talked about AEW's most views matches when it does indeed come to YouTube, but otherwise have the best day, my friends. And I, Simon Miller, the Bald Idiot, will talk to you very soon.